So I'm Adam. I'm the CEO and engineer of XRP.cafe. And obviously, we're going to be having a cool conversation about AI and NFTs and how that relates to the whole NFT world. So how many people out there have used ChatGPT, Bard, any of the large language models? So pretty much everybody in here. OK. So you're going to be kind of familiar with some of the concepts. It doesn't matter if you've developed on the XRPL or if you're developing or you're a product owner or you're a CEO. There's a lot to think about in terms of how does this affect my business? How can I integrate AI? And so a lot of the concepts, they're not, while they may be NFT specific, a lot of these are also going to be implications that you can take the inspiration from and really create something for your business. So we're kind of going to go over AI tools for creation. So content creation, imagery, storytelling, music, video. Looking at the copyright IP concerns, there's been a lot of different court cases on this, and they're still kind of ongoing, so that's being figured out, essentially. And AI tools for discovery. We'll be doing a little short demo with a semantic search on some structured data. And then looking at verification, authenticity, and then basically a concept looking at dynamic NFTs and how it fits in with AI-related concepts. So here's some quick stats about AI and how businesses are really integrating that into their platform. Almost all of the leading businesses today are investing in AI and looking at AI and seeing how they can improve their business processes, how it can remove friction, how it can save them money, essentially. And if you're a business owner or a blockchain project, you definitely need to be thinking about this and understanding how can AI transform my business as well. So obviously, the whole LLM concept, it's not a novel thing in this world. This spans decades of development, and it wasn't until GPT-3 where it really started opening up the idea of coming up with really transformative data out of just text prompting and generating new content. So we've had kind of a quantum leap since 2020 up until this point, to where we've had a really great amount of content coming out of these LLMs and being able to fine-tune these LLMs and basically fine-tune them for your business processes. So AI tools for creation, this is pretty much the base case of AI right now in terms of creating NFTs. There's obviously Stable Diffusion, DALL-E by OpenAI, Midjourney. A lot of these things, you're not necessarily creating new content, but you can upscale, you can morph images, you can create images from new images, and a lot of these things you can do to really enhance the content of blogs, or it doesn't even necessarily have to be in an NFT sense, basically. So this is an image on the left that I took at my local ski area. This is maybe 30 minutes from where I live. And I wanted to create an illustrative version of that based on a similarity through Stable Diffusion. And I could easily do that in just a few minutes. And this is the kind of content that you can create that is really going to enhance different content that you're putting out as a business. And obviously, our beloved David Schwartz, he's dabbling in AI-generated art. This is one of his collections. He loves to create futuristic, apocalyptic robots. So this is a quote that kind of, I guess, inspired me. And I have to give my wife credit for this because she is also a speaker at conferences for AI, but in the terms of an academia sense. And to me, this kind of means looking at something, finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. So do you look at your data or your product as just a rock pile, or do you look at it as something that's extraordinary, that it can be something extraordinary, and that AI can really help you figure out that extraordinary in the ordinary? So copyright, IP concerns. This is really just a moving target in terms of where this space is going. So there's been a lot of copyright and IP concerns and court cases that have come up. I think one of the most high profile cases have been from the graphic novels area of the dawn. A lot of the imagery and content within that graphic novel was created by Midjourney, and they basically ruled, the Copyright Office basically ruled that those images were not included in the copyright. So there's no IP over those, and thus no one really owns those. These last three are basically still ongoing. The New York Times is looking at suing OpenAI because they're using a lot of content from the New York Times to train their LLMs, and it's spitting out content that's technically copyright protected by the New York Times, and they're worried about protecting their IP through that. GitHub's Copilot, same way. And then Stability AI, Google, OpenAI lawsuits. That's also related to like the New York Times version, to where those LLMs are being trained on that data, and a lot of businesses are worried about their copyright and IP being duplicated. So, tools for discovery and user experience. Oops. So what I think about for this is, for NFT content discovery, is how can we really enhance the user's ability to search on the data, the rich data that is within an NFT. You can think of this as almost like a rich data search that we can spin up and bring back content that the user really wants to see. So for this demo that I want to do, we're going to do a natural language search basically on NFT data, and we're going to be pushing in some structured data into a vector database, and we're going to be using the Ada2 model for this. And so just some basic terminology if you've never heard of that. This is really basic at the ground level. Vector databases are just in an unstructured data store with indexes based on mathematical vectors to quickly find information. And those embeddings that we're putting in, they're just raw data converted into collections of numbers based on the AI model that the algo can actually interpret it. So it finds context for that data for when you're prompting to search for it. So this small sample project that we have, we're using LangChain and OpenAI, and we're taking this data right here. We have a really large amount of JSON data from 5 different collections, and we're pushing in the collection name, the item name, different attributes for that NFT, and we're basically going to generate our embeddings with this structured out input. So we're going out to OpenAI, getting our vector indexes, and then storing that into a local vector database from which we're going to be prompting. So basically, we're saved this as NFT large version 4.0. And then we have our simple API that we're just calling it on from our database and then pushing out essentially a JSON output that we can display on our Next.js project. And so this is what we come up with. And what are we going to search for? So show me NFTs with red eyes. And now we get, I guess we didn't really get red eyes, but we got yellow eyes. But let's say we didn't get the output that we really wanted. And we want it from a particular collection. And that's not really a valid output. So from the collection Pixel Ape, or from the Pixel Ape collection. And so now we get red eyes, right? We're getting a better output. So we're doing a semantic search, basically, on our data and getting some decent output. So let's try one more. So we're going to do show me NFTs that are wearing spacesuits. That's kind of random, right? Let's see what we get. OK, well, we didn't really get spacesuits, did we? What did we get? We got astronaut helmets. But the LLM, it's interpreting the context of that search and showing us something that is very, very similar based on the context of our data. So let's do that with a different collection. Let's say, show me NFTs that are wearing spacesuits from the Bored Ape collection. And now we get spacesuits from a particular collection. So when you think about this, this is just a base level example. We're not fine-tuning this. We're not fine-tuning a model based on this data. We're simply just pushing in some structured data based on an already existing model. So now you can imagine if we had fine-tuned this for our data, we could get a very highly accurate search results based on that structured data that we're pushing in. So you can kind of think of this for your own business or for your own company. You all have data, right? And you want to create a better user experience, want to create something of value for your users or for other businesses. Now you can do this really, really easily. Let's go back to our presentation. OK. So tools for verification and authenticity. This is something that we're really working on right now, and I'll kind of get into that. So traditional manual verification of NFTs obviously revolves around issuer matches, identity verification, maybe XLS 40D. Verifying content, there's no really easy manual way. AI makes this possible, essentially, and this is something that we're going to be doing at XRP.cafe. We're making a proprietary AI model to where we can do visual similarity searches and automatically flag content exceeding similarity thresholds to look for fakes and scams and any kind of unauthorized content, essentially. Oops. So DNFTs, what is a DNFT? Well, that's a dynamic NFT. And it's really, we consider this the future of NFTs. It's essentially an NFT with mutable data, and that a lot of these use cases, it's for mainstream adoption, dynamic NFTs are essentially required for this. Like gamification, in-game avatars, dynamic assets, sports cards, real-world asset tokenization, art and image morphing over time. Basically, anything requiring mutable data through some type of oracle to push data into these NFTs and change this data. So could we combine dynamic NFTs with AI? And this is a hypothetical use case to where we can embed an AI functionality into a dynamic NFT. So how can we really make this possible? Like, the way I envision it is that we could have a NFT from Exodus 20 connected through an ENS reference to a contract on the EVM sidechain, which would make this a base case for a dynamic NFT. Now, we could have that EVM contract then have a pointer basically to a decentralized vector store that we can push our embeddings to through our LLM model, and then essentially make this into a dynamic NFT with an embedded AI component to it that the application layer can interpret and show you content based on that data that's in the vector store. So my designer's really gonna kill me when he sees this, and I'm not a designer, I'm a developer. And so this is a really crude model of what it kind of looks like in my mind. But essentially, you have the application layer really coordinating things that's connected. The EVM model is connected to the decentralized vector store. We have the middleware communicating with the LLM and then bringing back to the application layer. And so this was more of a hypothetical scenario of I just wanted you to start thinking about things and how this could fit into your business or something that you're doing. Maybe you're building a game, maybe you're building a metaverse, maybe you're building something massive that you can use AI for. But this is basically just a hypothetical scenario for this. So where to start with AI applications? Hugging Face is an awesome site. It essentially has a million different models that you can tune your AI applications on. Vercel has a lot of really great templates that you can look at and that you can build off of, and then Deep Learning AI has a ton of great free courses that you can take. And that really goes into a deep dive into the AI realm and looking at machine learning, and you can go down the rabbit hole with this stuff. So that's it, and thank you so much. If anybody has any questions or comments, would love to hear them.
Thank you, Adam. That's super interesting, especially the dynamic NFTs that are AI powered. We do have some time for some questions that we can take live. So if anyone has a question that they want to ask right now, just raise your hand. Oh, there's one in the back.
Hi. So I noticed your learning language model where you could input the text to get the various traits. Is it possible that ChatGPT is powerful enough to search based on rarity? Now, obviously, that's not part of the core data that you provided in the JSON file, but is it powerful enough to say, I want this particular collection with a trait that is more than a 10% rarity? Because I think rarity is quite a high desirable metric to know.
Yeah, so you can definitely fine-tune models, and so it looks at a whole collection of data. You can group it together. You can do calculations on the fly with that. So that's definitely possible. Not in this scenario that we did. This was really, really basic, but yeah, it's definitely possible.
Any other questions from the audience? How many people have considered implementing AI into their projects? Oh, a few. Cool.
A few.
Yeah, I'd love to hear like what you guys are doing. Yeah, speak to the DevRel team from Ripple. So would love to hear how it's going. Well, thank you very much, Adam.
Awesome.